Hey everyone, I'm the Chess Nerd, and today I'm going to be showing you my brand new dream chess table. I mean, this is a 5-wood chess table. This comes about once in your lifetime when you see it, and here it is. So this is a very special table for 5 different reasons. It's made out of 5 different types of woods. So the sides of this table, made of a darker, more rich wood, is actually a very luxurious wood called mahogany.
That is mahogany.
Next up, the border of the board and the border of the table is made from the same wood. A wood I had never heard of before, even dealing with chess pieces and chess woods. It's Jotoba wood. So its scientific name is Himalaya, and it comes from South America. So a very rare wood and quite exotic. And now for the surface of the entire table, what takes up most of the space is characterized by the most beautiful wood, my favorite wood of this entire table, Bubinga wood, which comes from southern of Africa, the continent, right? And it's a super beautiful wood, very glows to your face and has a good reflection and makes me want to play chess on this table. Now this is the interesting part. Now we go in the inside of the chessboard. So the chessboard is obviously made by 2 woods, dark squares and the light squares, right? So the dark squares here are also made from a wood from Africa. It's made from Palisander wood, which is also known as Madagascar Rosewood, Madagascar being a country, an island kind of, a big island, off the eastern shore of Africa. And of course, the light squares are only domestic wood of this entire table, is walnut, Canadian walnut to be precise. And it's a very nice, light, buttery, and still rich color, white light square that contrasts the Palisander, a very dark wood, right? Kind of like zebra-like, and they contrast each other perfectly. And they just make for a beautiful, beautiful board and, of course, a beautiful chess table. And this board is inlaid into the foundation of the chess table, which is just amazing. It's like a whole playing surface and it's just continuous. And there's enough space for me to put my books on the side. And it's just such a beautiful table all overall. Perfect for work and perfect for chess, of course. And of course, I know I couldn't just show you my new chess table without showing you a very nice chess problem on it and then solving it for you in front of your faces so you can see the beauty of chess and the beautiful things that are going to happen on this table.
That's what she said!
And this, of course, is the chess problem I'm showing you guys today. It's a chess study. It was composed by Lazar Salkind, a chess composer in the 1910s from Russia. And here it's white to play and win. As you can see, the rook is forking both bishops here on e8 and b2. Well, e8 and then b2 here. And this one with check is kind of threatening to check the king and then come back to, save the e7 pawn. So it's quite interesting here what white are gonna soup up. Let's just make an example of a wrong solution. So let's calculate in our heads while putting it on the board, of course. So bishop g6, let's say, then rook would take with check, and then king moves, and then rook b8, and then queens, rook takes, bishop takes on e8, right? And here it looks like a draw after king h7, and white cannot save that last pawn. And let's see what happens if we try to save this bishop, let's say. So bishop e5, and then black just takes this pawn. And it's very hard to win here with white. You could just defend your pawn. But once again, black, I think, are winning in this situation here. So this doesn't work. And so how does white find a way to conserve both of his bishops ideally, or to queen this pawn. And it's very hard to find this. So white have a very nice resource here. So they have h7 first, double exclamatory pawn move, which checks the king. The king is in a mating net, so has to take this pawn, otherwise it would be checkmate. So forced is king takes h7, and here comes the explosive move. So the king now is out of the bubble and the reach of the e7 pawn. So white uses this to their advantage. So bishop a4, another crazy move. So basically threatening e8, right, with queening, and once you get the rook, both bishops can win against a lone king, right? And so here comes the trick. So after rook takes b2 check, if we were to move the king, right, the rook would just go back to b8 and trade for the pawn, and this would be a draw for black. But white has the second best move of this combination, which is just crazy. Bishop c2, check on the king on h7. Wow. And what happens here? So black doesn't have time to come back to b8 to save this pawn. It's really check on the king, right? And then you might say to yourself, okay, so black could take this bishop. But that's a trap. And that's the beauty of this combination, is that once you check this king, king moves to protect this e2 square, right? So that black cannot fetch our e7 pawn. And now, whatever black does, king still moves up and protects the e file square. And black are in a panic here. Black cannot come back, right? Retreat to the 8th file to stop this pawn. Black's king is on h7, hence the h7 move beforehand, and cannot catch up to this pawn with the means of king g7. And here, after black has exhausted his last check, it's completely winning for white, who will just queen on the next move and take over this entire game. So that's the solution. I hope you enjoyed the video, and see you next time.